How you doing? Today we're going to talk about forbearance and what's going on in the mortgage industry. So back in March when this whole COVID thing started happening, at least around the financial area, the mortgage area, they announced there's something called a forbearance. And between the start of the forbearance and about a week and a half ago, there was about 4.8 million people that applied for a forbearance. And the good news, what they're saying is kind of a flattening of the curve, is last week, for the whole week, there were about 7,000 homeowners that applied for the forbearance. And I get this information from two different websites. I mean, one of them is called Black Knight, the other one is called Housing Wire. And they give me information. I read that information all the time. And what a forbearance does is designed to help a homeowner if you can't make a house payment, maybe you lost a job, maybe you got cut back. Then what you can do is you can reduce your monthly house payment, or you can what you can do is you can push off, what do they call it? You can delay your payment or put a pause on the house payment. And so that's cool for a lot of people, because I've had some clients, some that lost their job, they got their hours cut back, and they were afraid that they didn't have enough money to make their mortgage payment and do all the, I mean, it's been real tough for a lot of people lately, right? So what they're saying on both of these different websites is that we were having about 4.8, we have about 4.8 million people that have applied for forbearance. And then last week, they had about 7,000 people. So what does that mean mathematically? So it's been about 10 weeks since we've been in this. So for the first 10 weeks, we've been about 11, this is like the 11th week we've been on this. So for about the first 10 weeks, 4.8 million, which means every week, about 480,000 people are applying on average to go into forbearance. Now, last week, 7,000 people. That's positive news, right? So they're saying that that's a slowdown. So it came to a drastic slowdown. Now that's as we entered into phase 2 and people are going back to work. They're saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to be able to make my house payment. I don't need to ask for a forbearance. Now, there's a lot of people that are in forbearance that are actually making their house payments. That's another thing too. And they don't talk a lot about that, but there's people that are currently in forbearance that have been approved for forbearance, but they're making their house payment. They want the forbearance set up in case something happens, where they say, you know what, I applied for a forbearance, and in case I lose my job, I want to be able to have that just ready to go. So what's the forbearance, right? A forbearance is when your mortgage servicer, that's the person you make your house payment, and who sends you your statement. So when you get your mortgage statement, the person that comes from, the company that comes from, who that comes from is called a mortgage servicer. Now, when they allow you to pause or to reduce your monthly payments, that's called a forbearance, and it's for a limited time. It's not forever. It's just a limited time. Now, the time frames that they were allotting were 90 days and 180 days. And then what they said is if you elected for 90 days, then you can also elect and have an additional 90 days. If you went 180 days, I believe you can elect to have an additional 180 days. Now, so why is the 7,000 people that have only applied last week, why is that good? Well, one, because the average was 480,000 a week, and now it's 7,000. So that's huge. And the second thing is that still tens of millions of people that have home loans have elected to keep continuing to make their house payment. So that's a real positive. Okay. So if you've missed a house payment, you don't have to freak out, because right now there is this whole thing called forbearance that you can apply for. And I believe that pretty much they're accepting everybody as long as you had to have been caught up on your mortgage. So if you were in a foreclosure already situation, I don't know that you can do a forbearance. You're going to have to talk to your servicer. Now, I've helped probably 20 or 30 people at least walk through it since, just in the last month and a half, 2 months. And it's really simple. So all you got to do is go to your mortgage website. You go to the website, and then it'll be right there. It'll say the COVID stuff, and you can just click on it. Okay. So for right now, there's a lot of people that are in forbearance and electing to either pay a reduced payment or be able to miss their payment currently. What do they call it? Being able to, put it off for a little while. And if you need help, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. I'm always here to help you. Martin Lopez with I Serve Residential Lending, the VA Mortgage Boot Camp, and Martin Lopez Home Loans. Also an author. I wrote a book. Where is it at? Right there. If you want to get a copy of my book, let me know. I'll send you a free audio book. And I created something called the VA, the 3-step guide to home buying, which is a process I take people through. If they're thinking about buying a house, I take people through the process of home buying in 3 simple steps. And I got 3 videos, so just ask me about them and I'll send them to you. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye. Please reach out to me if I